Yo, what is going on, everyone? Guiding Light here, and just a quick video update talking to you guys about some of the new settings which were just added here today. Now, if you guys have ever used a weapon that is burst fire, 3-round burst, and notice that it actually does kind of slow you down a bit, or tried to use a hand cannon and notice that they just don't fire as fast as you think they should, I'm going to talk to you guys about some new settings which have added today, which actually addresses this problem. So the first thing you'll want to do is come down here into this setting, do change fire mode. You're going to click on. What this is going to do is it's going to make all of your weapons fully automatic. Now there's also a bunch of other settings I want to talk to you guys about, which will improve your gameplay and just the overall experience here on the game. So beyond that setting, which was just added today, it's going to increase damage on 3-round burst weapons as well as hand cannons due to the fact that now they are completely full auto. There's also some other settings in here I want to talk to you guys about. Now, the first setting that you do want to turn on is this weapon damage detail setting. What this does is that if you have any elemental burn on your weapon, it will actually show you the specific damage that that's doing so that you can calculate it and figure out whether or not you want to keep it on or not. Now, this isn't something you really need on all the time, but in my opinion, it did help me quite a bit at first to figure out what kind of damage I was doing and then whether or not I should make a build around it. After that, you can do skill damage details. It'll tell you exactly what your skill damage is doing. As you can see there, it actually does give you a description. Another setting that you could just turn off after you get used to it after a few days, but it is good to have on so you can see just how much damage you're doing or to test out a new build. Now, these other settings here are extremely important. These show HP shield values that, in my opinion, are extremely important. What this is going to do is it's going to tell you the exact value of health you have and the exact value of shield you have at all times, making it a lot easier to stay alive because you'll start to learn over time just how much damage some of these enemies and some of these abilities are doing. Another thing that helps with building, because now you can figure out exactly what your mod changes are actually meaning for your character's overall health values. Now, next up, what you'll want to do is show HP, shield increase, decrease. This is a pretty obvious thing, but it's going to show you the values in which you're losing health at. Now, this next setting is really, really important. This is show status effect. I highly suggest putting it on all, or at least having it on enemy. What this is going to do is it's going to tell you anytime that you debuff one of the enemies, it will actually show you the exact debuff or buff in which they have active on them. Now, if you set it to all, what it's going to do is it's actually going to show you anytime your teammates have a buff or debuff on them. And with the new character, Luna, given the fact that she actually does buff players up, I'm deciding now to turn this on set to all so we can start to see exactly how these other characters are buffing each other up, and we can start to make builds and test the values and things like that. Now, again, this isn't something maybe for everyone, but I highly suggest at least having it on enemy. That way, if you debuff an enemy or if an enemy's buffed up, you can at least see how and where they're buffed. Now, having it on all, what that's going to do, like I already explained it, is just show you whether or not your teammates have buffs or debuffs. So depending on the descendant you have, you may or may not want to switch this setting around. Now, the next setting that I have for you guys is going to be based around the grappler. If you've ever had trouble grappling onto the bosses or just in general, this setting will actually help quite a bit. What you can do is actually change the icon here on your grappler, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why I use this one with the giant red ring around it. Now, although it can be a bit distracting, what this red ring will do to your grappler is anytime the red ring turns on, you'll know that you're going to 100% have a successful grapple. So when you're in those void intercept battles and you're trying to take down the boss's armor, this can help quite a bit because before you go in and press the button and waste your grapple and you wind up throwing yourself at the boss and taking damage, you can just simply wait for that red circle to appear, and now you're guaranteed to hit a successful grapple. So it's something that you kind of have to get used to a little bit, but it helps a lot as well. Also, personal preference, you don't have to turn any of these settings on. It's just things that I found that helped me out, and so I figured I'd just let you guys know. Now, the next thing I would personally do is actually turn off the aim assist in the game, or at least turn it down. One thing I've noticed is the aim assist is way too strong in this game to the point where sometimes you can't even evade enemies because your aim assist is just so locked onto the target. So I suggest coming in here and at least turning aim assist values down. I've actually just completely turned them off. Now, I would leave them on for hip fire, that's fine. But you notice anytime that you're aiming, it's absolutely terrible just how much it locks on, especially during void intercept battles. So if you lower those values or just turn it off altogether, it actually is something that helps quite a bit. Now, here's just a quick look at this full auto that I've added onto my pulse. And then also the hand cannons, you can see an absolutely drastic difference with these as well. So hopefully these new settings, these changes help you guys out. Stay tuned to the channel, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.